Welcome everybody to the start of a new somewhat series here on the channel. We're going to be going through every single world in Wizard 101 and doing all of the Monstrology Tome for that world, which is kind of crazy. If you guys hit T on your keyboard, it will bring up the Monstrology Tome. And as you can see here, we only have just one thing. It's the Lost Soul. You will have the Lost Soul in your tome if you do the Monstrologist Burke quest that you unlock at level 12. So make sure you do that quest. Get the Lost Soul. There are 124 creatures in Wizard City. We're not going to be able to do all of them because a lot of them are in like the catacombs and in some advanced areas. So, but today we are going to be completing all the ones that you should do at the beginning of your Monstrology journey. And so we will be following the Monstrology guide that I made a video on. The last video I've made will be linked in the description. You can follow along with that guide. I think it's very, very helpful. But today we're going to actually go through the battles on what battles you should be doing so that you don't do any duplicates and that you are doing it the most efficient way possible to complete your Monstrology Tome. This is not a level up guide. This is just a guide to help complete your Monstrology Tome for each world. And we're going to break it down by world. And there's actually going to be two parts to Wizard City. This is going to be part 1, and part 2 will actually come out a ways away once we unlock the catacombs, of course, a very long ways away. So, Parkatopia will be the next one. I do recommend doing this around Halloween time or around the Professor 5 Boxes event because there are some creatures that are limited to these events. There's a lot of creatures in these 3 towers right here that have Monstrology tomes that you need to get. And of course, this only comes around twice a year. Once during Halloween and once during like April, I think. So, yeah, you only have twice a year, 2 opportunities to go into these towers and get these monsters. We, of course, are going to be doing the Halloween ones today, but we're unable to do the 5 boxes ones because the event's not going on right now. There are 4 main extracts that you're going to need for Wizard City. The first one, of course, is Undead, which you do get for free by doing the quest. The next one is going to be Gobblers, which you can get for actually way cheaper than the other ones for some reason, like 15,000, I think, gold. In Colossus Boulevard, you're going to need the Golem one, which can be found in Marleybone, and the Cyclops one, which is found in the Oasis. There are 2 creatures that use the Elephant Animus, and there are 2 creatures that use the Equine Animus as well. So if you have the gold, I definitely recommend picking up those 2 Animuses as well right now. And the Old Town Drains, the dungeon in Old Town, of course, and all the creatures in there are using the Insect Animus, which you can get in Chrysalis. So if you have access to Chrysalis, go pick that up. I don't have access to Chrysalis right now, so I have to find a wizard that can take me there so that I can buy the spell. Just slightly unfortunate. Same thing goes with the Zafaria with the Elephant spell. If you don't have access to Zafaria yet, you might not be able to get the Elephant Animus quite yet, or have to find someone to take you there. But luckily, that is all that we need to complete the first part of Wizard City. Now, you may think we're going to go to Unicorn Way first. It's actually not true. We're actually going to go to Golem Tower first because I think that's the most efficient way to do things. Here in Golem Tower, you will, of course, need the Golem Animus, and all of the creatures in here are going to take the Golem Animus. So, of course, here, the first one is going to be the Wooden Construct. By the time you get up to the very top for the Iron Golem, is that what it is? You will indeed be rank 2. So that is good because that is a rank 2 enemy, but everybody else in this tower is, of course, rank 1. So there we go. We have collected 2 Wooden Construct Animus and got 2 XP. So that is our very first one besides a Lost Soul that we are able to check off, which is fantastic. And now we have 2 enemies to face. So I did mention this in the guide in the previous video that you should definitely be doing this when you have some sort of AoE. I did not pull a power pip there, but having an AoE is just going to make things so much faster for you, especially in these 2 enemy fights, you know. So now we're going to get double the XP because there are 2 enemies, which should be very helpful in our leveling up process. And I do, as I said, recommend doing this during double Animus XP weekend if you are a member, or pop in a potion that you may have gotten for free. And we're just getting unlucky with these fizzles here. Wow. No pop up and a fizzle. We're off to a bad start here. All right, there we go. Now we got 4 XP for that one. Let's check our level here. Yeah, we're only 1 monster away from level 2. So doing this in Golem Court for the first time is, I think, the best way to level up a little bit to get to level 2. Because when you're in Unicorn Way, you have to do the Lady Black Hope fight, which is a rank 2 fight. And there's really not much to do before that. So you won't actually reach level 2 before you end up doing that fight, which lowers the odd of actually getting the Animus. Which is an interesting thing. If you are below the level that the monster is, in your Monstrology level, that is, you get a less chance of actually collecting the enemies. So you always want to be at the level that you are battling the monster, essentially. So that's how we're going to do this in this series. Just be very efficient in that way. So we're rank 1, we're battling rank 1s until you rank up to level 2s, and then we'll go in and battle some level 2 enemies as well. There we go. Clockwork Golem has been completed here, and we are now a novice monstrologist. So let's go ahead and equip that. We are rank 2. We go on to the next floor. So now we will be able to do the Iron Golem once we get up to the final floor of Golem Court. All right, we've reached the last one. The Iron Golem, as you can see, is rank 2, but by the time we get up to the top floor here, we're rank 2. So this should be an easy fight here. We got our Power Pip, which is fantastic. And once we defeat this battle, we would have completed the Golem Court. Obviously, Golem Court's also where you get into the Catacombs. So, I don't know. Technically, maybe we haven't. But, you know, Golem Tower, I think, is the first place you should be. As long as you do have that Golem Animus, which I said you can get in Marleybone for 100,000 gold. So, these extract spells are not cheap. They're definitely not cheap. They're definitely quite expensive, actually. So, make sure to save some gold for these spells whenever you want to do this monstrology here. But I do think Golem is a worthwhile investment early on, I would say. So hopefully we don't fizzle here again. And we can end the Golem Tower adventure and move on to our next location here as we continue on in Wizard City. And there we go. The battle has been done. We collected 2 Iron Golem Animus. We got 6 XP. So yes, obviously the higher level the enemy is, the more XP you will get. So let's hit T here. And yes, we did get everything. Here's where you can kind of see what you've gotten and what you've got, what you have not gotten. Obviously, it's in alphabetical order, which is really nice. All right, and our next stop is going to be Unicorn Way. Unicorn Way is actually a very easy street to complete. So, of course, if you got the Undead spell, you definitely should have already gotten the Lost Soul Extract Animus. So, we're not going to worry about that again. Our first stop's actually going to be over here in Black Hope's Tower. You will need to do a side quest to unlock this location, but you should have done that. I mean, come on. Everything in Unicorn Way requires the Extract Undead Animus, so make sure you have that in your deck. The Skeletal Corsair is a unique little minion to this dungeon. This is not the same as the Skeletal Pirate, which a lot of people assume, I think, is the case. But yeah, Lady Blackhope is rank 2, so you want to make sure you are rank 2 before you come in here. You can still get the Animus if you are rank 1. It's just not 100%, so you might have to do the battle again if you don't get it. But that's the game. We should be able to get both of these things right here. 2 enemies done in 1 battle. There we go. We got them on to the next. So next up, we do have the Skeletal Pirate, which unfortunately is not in any boss fight, so you will have to battle one on the street. The good thing or bad thing, I guess, is that there's only 1 that you get in the battle, not 2. So you can kind of just quickly take them out easily, but if you're trying to farm these guys, you're not going to get as much Animus, of course, per fight. So that is something. We leveled up to level 3. Wonderful. All right, and the final location here in Unicorn Way is going to be Rattlebone's Tower over here in the archives. So we're going to go ahead and do that. He will be with one of those little fairies. Unfortunately, the fairies cannot be extracted. They have no Animus. There's no fairy Animus. So the dark fairy is kind of just a nothing in this fight as we're extracting Animus. But of course, Rattlebones, the undead Rattlebones, is what we're going to need here. And Rattlebones, I think, is a pretty cool house guest if you guys are interested in house guests. So this guy might be worth farming a little bit. But of course, requires an undead Animus, and Dark Fairy, unfortunately, does not give you any XP or anything. So that does hurt us a little bit as far as the reason to farm this. But that will conclude the beautiful Unicorn Way. We have collected every single monster here. All right, next up we are in Cyclops Lane, which only has a few things that you can actually get here in Cyclops Lane. Make sure you have the Cyclops extract here, because that is what everything includes is Cyclops. So go to Achilles Tower first. Both enemies here are going to be rank 2, which we are already rank 3, and we don't even have double XP right now. So you should also be at rank 3 currently. And these ones should be an easy get. So yes, here we have a General Achilles and, of course, a Cyclops Legionnaire. These are the 2 you're going to get here. And there's actually only one more thing in Cyclops Lane other than these 2 guys. So it's really just 2 quick battles in Cyclops Lane, and you're out of there. The next guy is going to be the layer of IS Maximus. Luckily, there are 2 teleporters that take you directly to both of these 2 towers. So that's really nice. Just take the teleporters over here, and there will be a Warhorn, I do believe, in here with IS Maximus. Unfortunately, the Warhorn cannot be extracted. They are not a Cyclops, so yeah, no Warhorn, unfortunately, but IS Maximus we can. So there we go. Collected 2 IS Maximus Animus, and we have completed Cyclops Lane. All right, now we're actually going to skip Triton Avenue for the meantime. We're going to go down to Firecat Alley. Here we are in Wormguts Castle, which is located where? Over here, I do believe. Our little arrow's not really exposed right now, but Wormguts has a Skeletal Warrior. Make sure you have the Undead Animus here. Make sure you have the Undead Extract, because everything in Firecat Alley is extractable via the undead, not Cyclops. All right, so make sure you switch that out. And we will be able to get Worm Guts and the Skeletal Warrior in the same fight here. So there we go. We got those two. All right, now we have Bastilla's Bastion, which is right over here, right next to Worm Guts Stronghold. Only thing that we're going to be able to get here is going to be the boss. There's actually only 2 more bosses left in Firecat Alley, so there's really not much in Firecat Alley either. A little bit more than Cyclops Lane, like 1 extra fight. But with Bastilla is going to be a Fire Elf Hunter, which unfortunately cannot be extracted right now. There's no elf extract, so just Bastilla Gravewind in this fight. So there we go. That is Bastilla down. We have collected the Animus, and we are ranked up to rank 4 already, which is fantastic. There's one more boss we have to defeat, and that is Melvina Smite or something. We'll get over there. So yeah, right over here, across this bridge, right next to the teleporters right there. So you can teleport from here over here, and now we are in the Forlorn Tower. So let's go in here. We will be able to find the final boss of Firecat Alley that we need as far as the Animus goes. And Melvina's Suite is with a haunted minion as well, which is something that we can extract, which is fantastic. The haunted minions will be in quite a few different fights though, so it doesn't really matter. We'll get the haunted minion quite a few times, but it's good to get her now. Get him, get it. What is a haunted minion? I think it's just it. So yeah, let's go ahead and complete this fight here. Boom, we got both things. Let's go. All right, so Firecat Alley is defeated. Now, right outside Firecat Alley, we actually have 2 little dungeons here. We're going to go into Sapphira's Tower first because we are going to defeat Foul Gaze, which is another undead enemy, another undead boss. So we'll go ahead and take him down. Foul Gaze is, of course, rank 3 and another haunted minion. So yeah, as I said, a lot of haunted minions. We'll be able to get a lot of haunted minion extract here today, which is fantastic. And Foul Gaze, rank 3, very easy boss. We're already rank 4, so we're already over leveled, I guess, for what we have to do. So as I said, leveling up Monstrology is very easy if you're trying to collect everything like I am here today. But there we go. Foul Gaze and another haunted minion Animus has been collected. And right across the street, we're going to have Roberto's Secret Lair. Now, this one actually does require the Equine Animus, so make sure you have that. Again, it costs 100,000, so it is quite expensive. And Roberto is one of only 2 that are in Wizard City, so it's not really that important. And you also will need a wooden skeleton key, which I did just have to use. So if you don't have a wooden skeleton key, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do this one either. You know, it is Animus that you will need to collect if you are trying to complete everything. So Roberto, very easy boss, only rank 2. So you could have done this even earlier here. And make sure you actually put the correct extract on. Otherwise, you're going to have to do this again and use another skeleton key. So you don't want to waste a wooden skeleton key. Make sure you have the horse, the equine Animus when you're doing this one. Otherwise, you have to use it up another wooden skeleton key. Now, if you are doing this during the 5 boxes event, it will be over here. There are 2 creatures that you want to collect inside. The first one's going to be Kasai Baku, which is an elephant extract. That is one of only 2 elephants that's in Wizard City. So, again, you may not have that spell right now. The other one is going to be the Fire Wraith, which is undead. So both of them are going to be in the telegraph box, which would appear here if it is time. But again, this is a limited time event. I cannot do it right now, so I'm skipping. But if you want to do that now would be a good time. But next up, we are going to head into Triton Avenue. And the first place we're going is going to be Sergeant Skullsplitter all the way up here in the northeast. Everything in Triton Avenue will be requiring the Undead Animus extract, so make sure you have that Undead on now. And let's go defeat Sergeant Skullsplitter here. The minion will be a Scarlet Screecher, which is indeed one of those unique minions to this little tower. So you will be able to get a little 2-for-1 in this battle, which is fantastic. All right, there we go. We've collected the Animus there. Let's go ahead and now go to the next fight, which is going to be Galvanos Tower over here in the bottom of the map. Here we're going to have the Harvest Lord and a Rotted Father, which is not the same as a Rottine Father. Interesting. So there's a lot of like unique minions for some reason in Wizard City that are with the bosses. I'm not exactly sure why, but yeah, look, it's not Rottine, it's Rotted, which I think a lot of people don't even notice, but it is important when you're doing Animus. So the Harvest Lord rank 3, Rotted Father rank 2. Let's go ahead and knock these guys down. All right, there we go. 2 more Animus has been completed. We are not actually going to get the Rotting Fodder here on the... You could battle it on the street and get it, take care of it, but it will be appearing in a boss battle later on in this video. But one creature that you do want to defeat on the street is going to be the Scarlet Screamer. Now, that was a good time to say that there is the Spell Writ special event that happens as well. And this is a special event that occurs, I don't know, twice a year maybe. I'm not exactly sure how common it is, but there will be Spell Writ Screamers walking around the streets, those you definitely want to take out as well. It is not that special event right now, unfortunately, so I cannot complete that one quite yet. But once that special event comes back in the rotation, you definitely want to make sure you get those spell-rig creatures that are... not all of them are going to be extractable for the Animus, but the Scarlet Screamer variant is. All right, let's go ahead and look how many we got so far. We actually have 3 pages worth now in Wizard City. We have 23 out of 124, so that is where you should be at right now. The next step is going to be a Halloween exclusive one, which is going to be Mordecai's Tower. You're going to want to hop in here. Now, this one is kind of the first one that we are doing maybe a little bit under leveled, and you'll see why once we get in, but of course, still using that undead extract. But let's go ahead and hop in. We are the neophyte monstrologist. Let's go. Let's go. But let's see here. So we have Baron Mordecai, which we are going to be able to get. That's the one you really want to get here. That's one where we're entering this dungeon for. But of course, this tower is...
Living one. Never when I defeat you.
Okay, we can skip the dialogue. So this one has 1600, which is quite a lot of health. So we've got to be careful a little bit. And also the loathsome creeper, creeper is a rank 6. So we're only rank 4 or 5 right now, so we're actually a bit under leveled. So you might actually not get the Animus for the loathsome creeper, unfortunately, but that's okay. It's actually a dragon spire creature. It's not a Wizard City creature. It is technically going to be under the dragon spire category. So yeah, it's not necessary to get. If you get it, it will save you time once you go to dragon spire, but it's not like that important, to be honest. They're pretty easy to defeat. So yeah, let's go ahead and defeat good old loathsome creeper and Baron Mordecai here. All right, so we were able to defeat him. Let's see, and we did ended up getting it, so that's fantastic. So now we are the apprentice monstrologist. Now if you hit T, you'll notice that we have our first Animus for Dragonspire, which is of course the loathsome creeper. So if you didn't get it, don't worry about it. But we do have now Baron Mordecai here in Wizard City as well, so that is fantastic. All right, so that concludes Triton Avenue. The only things that you might still have to collect here is the Spell-Writ Screamer and the Rotting Fodder. Now we will be able to get the Rotting Fodder, as I said, a little bit later on, so we don't need to battle them right now. But now we're going to head into the Haunted Cave, which there actually are a few creatures we need to defeat here. Of course, we're going to defeat the Field Guard. There's some more Rotting Fodders, and there's going to be another Halloween dungeon we have to do. So we're going to head all the way to the end of the street first. Now, if it's not Halloween currently, then this is actually the only thing you're going to be able to do in the Haunted Cave, which is Storm Drain Tower. We're going to take down Lord Nightshade and get one of those Field Guards as well. They, of course, are undead as well. So yeah, should be a fairly easy fight here. They are rank 3 and rank 2. So we are, of course, rank 5, I do believe now, which is pretty good. So we are, as I said, over level. We should be able to collect Animus very, very easily now with pretty much a lot of things left in Wizard City. So let's go ahead and knock these guys down, and then we'll head into the other area of the Haunted Cave we need to go to. Boom! All right, so the final area is going to be this dungeon right here, the Mysterious Cave. This Mysterious Cave is only available during Halloween, so you want to make sure if it is Halloween, you come and do this. Now, this is a dungeon that you unfortunately might have to do multiple times because there is some RNG involved, which is not good. I think my record is like I had to do this like 4 times on one of my wizards to collect.
Oh, thank goodness. Please, you've got to help us.
And you got to do the quest. Now, everything in here is also going to be undead. Unfortunately, these blood bats are not extractable. So if you want to just, you don't have to use your undead, your Animus deck when battling these guys because you can't actually extract anything. But you have to defeat them to move on to the area that we want, which is the Veggie Revenants. And there are, I believe, five total Veggie Revenants that we need to collect. So hopefully we can get all 5 in this one run. That would be pretty lucky. It's unlikely, unfortunately. It's unlikely. All right, so as you progress the dungeon, you'll finally end up battling these Veggie Revenants. Now, unfortunately, I only got 2 variants here, the Ice and the Balance one, which is not a good start. If you got 4 different Veggies, that would be like the perfect start for you. But we will be able to get the Ice and the Balance, and so we're going to hopefully get 3 other ones in the next fight. There are 3 chances or 3 fights you get with these Veggie Revenants, so we could get lucky, get some more of the other kinds, but yeah, only 2 for the first one is not good. So, but you know, we got 2 more adds to the Animus at the very least, right? All right, let's see what it's gonna be. I see death. I see life and fire.
The last wizard to visit my home denied me my precious veggie juice, forcing me into eternal slumber. But
okay, I'm not sure why I'm listening to dialogue. Okay. Wow, we actually got the 3 we needed right here in this battle. That's very rare, I think, guys. That is quite rare. So we're going to be able to get all 5 Veggie Revenants in just one run, which, as I said, is very unlucky. So if you got lucky as me, nice job. Otherwise, you may have to run back and do this dungeon. But if you still didn't get all 5, then you might get it in the next fight, because there is one more additional fight after this one with Nosferatu, which is the last thing we need to do in the Haunted Cave is get Nosferatu, the boss, who again is undead, so you can just spam undead AoEs on all of these fights and you'll be fine. But we got all the Veggie Revenants now.
Bleh.
So we've got more death and more life here. So it is random, the Veggie Revenants that spawn. It could be anything. So you could have gotten all of one type. That would be actually quite rare. But that kind of would have been funny, honestly, wouldn't it? That would have been funny. But we did get all 5. Very lucky. All right, there we go. Blizzard has successfully completed. And the good thing about this dungeon is you do get a lot of animus. So that is really good. We also got a new badge, collect 100 animus. So there you go. So we got, and we got plenty of animus as well. So we got 5 badges already, which is, well, that's one we just got. Okay, so there we go. We got everything now in the Haunted Cave and Triton Avenue. All right, guys, next up, we're going to go to Colossus Boulevard, which, of course, you're going to need the Gobbler Extract, which is actually cheaper than all the other ones. It's only 15,000 from Burke right here, who's apparently in Colossus Boulevard and also Ravenwood at the exact same time, which is very strange. But the first place we're going to go is over here to this little dungeon where we're going to fight a boss and also a minion, Greebly's Garrison. So let's get in there. So here we're going to fight a Baron Greebly and also a Gobbler Scavenger. So obviously, make sure you have the Gobbler Extract equipped here for this fight. These ones are going to be slightly more difficult now, but everything is rank 3. So, you know, nothing's going to be too terribly difficult here in Colossus Boulevard if, you know, you're at a reasonable level, of course. All right, Greebly and the Scavenger have been eliminated. So that's 2 Gobblers down. And luckily, most of the Gobblers are actually a part of boss fights, so you don't actually have to battle too much on the streets. There might be one we'll have to do, but that's it. So now let's go to the other little place. Is that... where is it located? Over here, Baron Rotunda is where we need to go. All right, and here we are going to have, of course, a Baron Rotunda and the Gobbler Glutton. 2 new Gobblers to add to our good old Animus. Let's go. They passed. Beautiful. Let's just end this battle quickly, shall we? Don't fizzle, please. Come on. So we got those 2. Let's head out of here. Absolutely lovely start here to Colossus Boulevard. Now we're going to head back over to where we took the teleporter, over to Gobblestone Castle, because that is where our next boss resides. Oh, and there's a smith too, if you need to find the smiths. I'm sure most of you already have. Let's get into the castle. All right, so here we have, of course, Prince Gobblestone and the Gobbler Gorger, which is another unique Gobbler that we have not gotten yet. So that's actually fantastic that all 3 of the bosses here in Colossus Boulevard have different little minions with them, which makes us Monstrology completionists very happy, so you don't get any duplicates. And that means you have to do an additional battle later on, you know? So that is great. Let's hope that we can one-shot these guys and not fizzle. All right. We are just fizzling all day today. Boom. 2 more Gobblers defeated. That means 2 more Animus also completed. Where are we at here? We're at 5 pages now. Look at that. 5 pages of Wizard City. 38 out of 124. Now, you will notice that there's a Gobbler Muncher and a Gobbler Scouter right here that are still not collected. Now, you can collect those, but you will defeat them later when you are in Wizard City Part 2. In this dungeon right here, which is Earl's Lair. Now, this is a kind of a quest that I have not unlocked yet at level 87, but when you're in here, you will also face somebody called Earl, the Eater, who is a horse. And with Earl, you will find one of these Gobbler Scouters and a Gobbler Gorger, or the other one that we needed, a Muncher. So you will find a Scouter, a Muncher, and Earl in there. So you can wait and do all those in one battle, or you can go and collect the Scouter and the Muncher now, whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and defeat them now. Earl the Muncher is level 17, so we are unable to collect the Animus for Earl quite yet. Bit too over leveled, so if you do want to do that, you're definitely gonna have to wait and come back to it until you're a higher enough level. All right, guys, we're almost done with Wizard City. Just hang in there, but now might be a good time to take a break though if you need to. I'm gonna push on into the good old Town Drains. Now here in the Old Town Drains, we will actually be needing the Insect Animus, guys. So this is what we want here. There is one boss that uses the Undead Animus as well. That is at the very end. But there's going to be a lot of insects in here first. So this is, of course, a dungeon, so you have to just go through the quest here. And while you're going through the quest, you will be able to collect every single Animus that you need. There is no, like, hidden bosses or anything that you will need. But the Insect Animus you will need from Chrysalis. So in the Silent Market, Monstrologist Burke is hanging out kind of in the back. So if not unlocked Crystal Set like I haven't, you might have to find a friend or something that will take you there so you can buy this. Again, it is 100,000 gold again, which is quite expensive. It can be quite expensive. All right, so there we go. We got the animus, but we did not collect what we needed to collect the tools. So we have to do it again, and I guess we'll just collect more sanitation worker animus. This is, I guess, a good way to level up. Everything in here is level 5 or below. Oh, I don't know if I said that already or not, but that is good because as of right now, you should be level 5 or maybe even level 6. So yeah, everything in here should be a breeze. All right, so once you walk into the door, I don't think I triggered the dialogue, but I am in the battle with the sanitation lieutenant now, which is again another insect that you have to collect. This is like the start of the catacombs, kind of, because you'll get a lot of these type of creatures in the catacombs as well. But of course, this one's a low level friendly little dungeon here that we are able to one shot, which is fantastic. I did not trigger the dialogue.
Oh, whoa! Hold it right there, you disgusting little topsider.
Did I just glitch the entire dungeon? Do I have to restart? Guys, why didn't the dialogue trigger when I walked in? Which one I want us to fix these bugs, man? That is ridiculous. All right, well, I have to restart this dungeon. Don't make the same mistake as me, guys. Make sure you trigger all the dialogue before you take these dudes out. Sanitation Capo is up next. I had to go through the dungeon again, but luckily we're just in the beginning, so gotta make sure we trigger all of that dialogue. But now we have the sanitation capo, another one of these dudes again. These sanitation workers. I'm getting a lot of animus for these sanitation workers. I'll tell you that right now. I think this is like my this might be like the 7th or 8th that I'm fighting. So yeah, I think it's actually the 8th that I'm fighting in this today. We also leveled up. I think you guys should have leveled up by now as well. Level 6, which is great because we will be fighting some level 6 enemies up next. So we're going along just as intended. Okay, so now we just have essentially 2 more enemies to fight, and they're both right here in this fight. So we have the boss and the sanitation engineer, which are both a part of this fight, and we of course also have one of these sanitation workers. Again, I'm gonna use a little aura here. This guy's a decent amount of health. All right, let's see if we get the kill because they were using some shields and stuff, which is really annoying. But let's see if we can power through some of these shields here. It looks like we did. No, we only got the engineer. 46 and 42, really? Oh god. All right, so we got everything there from that fight. Now we just have one more enemy left in the old town traits. Unfortunately, it is the final fight, so we have to do the entire dungeon basically. All right, so here's the final boss. Is the tree minder ghost. Now make sure before you go into this battle, you have the undead animus now equipped, and I actually just put some single target attacks in instead of the AoE. Just still a bit more damage because he is by himself, so no need for the AoE. He has a decent amount of health as well, so I just wanted to make sure I can take him out safely. Oh no, he's using ice shields. All right, so there we go. We have successfully defeated the tree minder ghost, and as a result, completed all of the old town trains. You don't have to finish the rest of this dungeon. I mean, you can if you want to. All right, next up, we're going to do the adept tower and the beginner tower. We're going to leave the master tower for the end because there is a pretty powerful boss in that one, but we are going to take down the apprentice tower first, which is also where the rotting fodder is. Of course, these are only available during Halloween, so if it's not Halloween, then you can skip these parts and move on to the next one, but there are some unique enemies that are only found in these dungeons that you have to get for Monstrology. So that's what we're doing now. Now, there is the rotting fodder right there, and there's the plagued souls. As I said, the rotting fodder, we were going to defeat them later on. Here is that time where we are defeating it, so we don't need to actually go ahead and battle them earlier. But this dungeon is very easy. They are rank 2s and stuff, so, you know, this is... You could have done this a long time ago, honestly, but, you know... We're doing it now. And now we have the haunting banshee. So if I didn't say it, everything in these dungeons are undead, which is fantastic. So we don't have to be messing around with multiple different animuses, which is good. The haunting banshee is actually a rank 1. So you could have done this at the very beginning of the video if you really wanted to. That's kind of crazy. There are only 2 more, including the haunted banshee that we need in this apprentice tower. Of course, the final one is going to be the final boss at the end, so you will have to do the entire dungeon, unfortunately, for these, because the final boss is located at the very top. But all right, haunting banshee animus has been collected. We move up to the next level, which is going to be 2 more of these guys. So yeah, you will get, unfortunately, get a repeat battle here with 2 characters that we already have gotten. It's just the way it goes with some of these dungeons. Here we have the final boss. It's a rank 3 boss, very easy. The Halloween trickster, which is kind of a cool little boss to have as a house guest. I don't know. Kind of cool. Kind of looks like just like Lord Nightshade. Just kind of generic, but only 500 health. So, you know, as I said, this is a very easy dungeon, the Apprentice Tower. And this is the final thing we need here. And there we go. Halloween Trickster has been defeated, which means we got another Animus, and that is the finale to this dungeon, which I don't know why people even do these dungeons, because you don't get any good loot out of these things. I really don't know why people do this other than Monstrology, honestly. It's like the only reason to do these dungeons. Now, the Adept Tower is very unfortunate because you will need 3 different wizards in order to actually complete the entire Animus, because there is one creature that only spawns if there are 3 or more wizards in the fight. So I'm going to have to find 2 additional wizards to do this. And if you're wondering, that is the Maiden of Hate. We will actually need 2 other friends. I don't have any friends. I have to use a team-up system. All right, guys, here we go. I ended up getting 2 other people in here. Hopefully this guy does not take him out, because Dustin here is like max level here, and I did not get a power pip. So I might have to ask him to not kill here. This guy literally just attacked that same dude. No! I'm gonna have to restart this dungeon, unfortunately. That is really tragic. This guy dusted here. It's a rip. It's all right, though. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. I'm gonna have to restart the dungeon, though. All right, guys, here we go. I gotta get into this battle ASAP. I get into this battle first. Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm in the battle second. I'm in the battle second again. Please, Devin Willow. I told Devin Willow Leaf in the team up that I was doing this. So let's hope that I actually can do this here. Devin, please let me kill, please. Wait, he's only one hitting. Okay, so he actually can do it. Oh no, what is he doing? Wet weapon cast? Okay, I think we're good, guys. I think we're actually good. As long as we don't fizzle. As long as we don't fizzle, I think we can actually do this. So this is kind of tough. So if you have 2 friends, this would be a lot easier. But if you have to do the team up, you have to kind of like hurry up and get into the battle and target this Maiden of Hates like ASAP, because otherwise she will not spawn. It will just be 2 skeletal soldiers in the battle. We did not fizzle. Okay, nice. So now we actually can do this. We can actually do this now. You don't actually have to complete the rest of the dungeon with 2 other wizards. You can just do it by yourself. Okay, now you have the Midnight Shuffler, guys. Another somewhat unique boss. I guess I'll wait for them to join the battle. I don't know if they're gonna join or not. Are they gonna join? What happens to the other 2 guys? Akira? Oh. I think I'll just attack, honestly. Let's see what Devin does here. Because all I need is the Midnight Shuffler here. So this actually, there's like an element of... Looks like he's attacking the skeletal soldier. All right, let's just Blizzard, see what happens. All right, on to the next floor here. We got 2 more Animuses there. We are going to need 3 more, actually, in this battle. There's one of them. The Howling Ghost is what we need next. Let's go ahead and do the Howling Ghost here. Also, 2 more Midnight Shufflers. No fizzle is massive, guys. Otherwise, we're going to have to do this dungeon again. Hopefully, we don't fizzle in the final boss. Then we'll have to do the whole dungeon again. And, you know, unless my teammates don't kill. But that would be rare, right? That would be rare. Let's get to the next floor. Next floor, I think, is a puzzle, actually. But we got the Howling Ghost. We just need that final boss, guys. We just need that final boss. And we just have to collect the blue ones here. Hopefully oh my god. Who did that? It was not me. I promised you that. It was not me. I don't want to be greedy, so I'll let my teammates kill this time. These guys can take them out. All right, let's go here. We have the final boss up next. Let's get in there. First, we have to defeat the Reaper, guys. We did end up making it in here. And also Death Whisper. Actually, both of these creatures we actually do need here. So it looks like only 2 of them got into the battle. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and Blizzard, make sure we get it. We have to get the Reaper here. If we do not get the Reaper and someone else kills the Reaper, we could be in trouble. No fizzle, no fizzle. Yes! Okay, so we completed the Adept Tower then. There's still one more Death Whisperer here. We don't need to take it out. We'll let our teammates do some work here. I don't want to be too greedy and kill everything, you know? That's not good sportsmanship, but I did need the Animus there for those 2 creatures, and now we should be good. Now we're going to take a break from those Halloween dungeons and come back to the Master one at a future date, because we need to level up a little bit more to actually do that one, because that is the highest level rank that we'll see in this video. But we're gonna have a second city, which is mostly rank 3 enemies, which isn't too bad. There's also a skeleton key boss here that is very high level, so we are unable to do that now. We'll have to come back and do it, but luckily it's just right there, so you can easily just walk in and do it whenever you want. But we'll have to do the entire dungeon because we'll have to get grub
First,
which means we have to talk to Marla Stinger and, of course, do this entire dungeon. Everything is undead, just like usual, so you won't need to be switching around the Animus, though, luckily. All right, so the first one's going to be the Howling and the Wailing Wraith. There's actually 2 different little creatures here that we can get. They are actually different. even though they look exactly the same. Different names, so therefore they're different animuses. All right, next up we are going to have Paulson here, who is with some Wailing Wraiths. So we will get some duplicates, unfortunately, but we do have to defeat Paulson, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, now we have the Wandering Specters. These are just people we have to defeat just by doing the quest of Sunken City. We're now in Norton's Tower, which is a pretty long tower, unfortunately, and there isn't really much in here besides, like, Norton and the Wandering Specters, so there's going to be a lot of repeats, unfortunately, but gotta do what you gotta do. And did I just... Is this guy have 1 HP right now? Oh, come on! Now, with that, you should level up to an intermediate Monstrologist, or you should be very close. So now we are rank 7, which is perfect. Yeah, more duplicates here. So if you are not rank 7s, I did have to do that one Catacombs dungeon twice, so maybe you might rank up to rank 7 after this fight here. That's possible, but either way, you should be rank 7 definitely by the end of Sunken City. All right, we made it up to the top. Here is Norton with some more Wandering Specters. Of course, Norton, a boss. Gotta get his Animus. And we need to defeat him anyway so we can get over to Grub. Boom. Norton has been defeated. Let's go. Now, unfortunately, Grub is by himself here. I'm pretty sure that if you have more than one wizard, a Living Scarecrow will also be in this fight. Unfortunately, I am by myself. So after I defeat Grub, I have to go back and defeat a Living Scarecrow, which are just wandering the street. So you don't need another wizard. It is, I guess, just an extra battle you'll have to do if you don't have another wizard. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if there's more here, it's they do join. I could be wrong. It could just be Grub here, but there we go. We got Grub. So if there was no Living Scarecrow there, you'll have to come back to where Marla Stinger was standing right over here, and get into a battle with them on the street, which is okay. Not a big deal. All right, and with the Living Scarecrow defeated, we now have completed all of Sunken City. And it is time to head to beautiful Aquila into the Mount Olympus dungeon. Make sure you go in standard mode. I mean, I guess you could do Sun Challenge mode too. Now, you got to be extra careful here at Mount Olympus because there are quite a few different types of animuses we got to pay attention to. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're definitely going to want to put on your Cyclops, though, because our first battle is going to be with a Cyclops, so you want to make sure you do that. Now, this battle, you actually don't need to do Monstrology because we will be battling another Elite Cyclops guard in the future. So if Apollo Bright One's giving you a tough time with the 3,300 health, it's okay. You don't need to use Monstrology. You can use your main deck for this one. But you know, you are missing out on a couple of animuses here with this guard. All right, so we did that battle right there.
Well done, wizard.
Apollo Bright One is unable to be collected as an animus, unfortunately. So, and I probably should have mentioned the animuses that will be required for this dungeon. You will need, obviously, the Cyclops, you will need the Elephant, and you will need the Equine, and the Golem. So you'll actually need 4 different ones, which is not the best. It's honestly not the best. So the next one we're going to be using is the Equine here, the horse. So go ahead and equip that now. And that will be in the Moon Chamber. This is definitely an easier fight than the last one. And we're going to get the Centaur's Animus. There's going to be another enemy with her. And that one is not... the Ophidian Archer is not...
What? A challenger?
Animusable. Animusable. All right, we did it. Let's go. Centaur Animus has been collected. So this one is going to be the first battle that we had to defeat, which has 2 different types of animuses in the same battle. So here we have those Elite Cyclops Guard. If you did not get it in the Apollo Bright One battle, now is the time to get it. And we also have this Praetorian Guard, which is a Golem. So you have Cyclops over here and a Golem here. So I have my decks currently set to my Blizzards, and I also have a Colossus in here with one of my Golems. So I'm going to do the Golem on the Colossus, and the ooh, good catch, good catch. I actually need the Cyclops instead of the Equines there for the Elite Cyclops guards. So let's go ahead and do this. This is definitely going to be the most challenging because we can't just AoE everything. We have to kind of pick and choose what we do. So Cyclops goes on the Blizzard here. Okay, so here's the Golem. I'm going to put it on the Colossus. Hopefully this does indeed kill. We shall see. Never a doubt, guys. Never a doubt. So now I'm just going to Blizzard the rest of these dudes to death, and that will be the game. Ah, stunned. Okay, battle completed there. We got everything. Look at all that animus we got. Wow. All right, so now the time is to do this puzzle. Now, you don't actually want to complete the puzzle. You want to actually fail, because now what's going to happen is you're going to spawn a Carthaginian Elephant Warrior, which is the final thing you need to get for the animus. None of these other ones are collectible with the animus. So you want to make sure you get the Carthaginian Elephant Warrior. Now I think the Minotaur was the first one to pop out. So if you destroy the Minotaur, he might not spawn, which might make the battle a little bit easier for you. But you definitely don't want to destroy the elephant, because the Carthaginian Elephant Warrior is what you need. Now, I don't actually even have the elephant... I don't even have the elephant animus, so I can't even do it right now. So I'll have to come back at a later time and do it. But you guys can all do it right now. Grab that Carthaginian Elephant warrior. All right, guys, the next boss we have to defeat is going to be the Spirit of Ignorance, which is a skeleton key boss here down in Crab Alley. You will need a gold skeleton key to do this, and you also will need the undead animus, which of course you already have. The thing is, though, this is a boss that has tiers. Okay, tier 1 through 4. You want to make sure you do the tier 1 version this time, which means you need a wizard that's level 1 to 15. You need a very low level wizard. I have Lenora Worldbringer here, who is level 1, who is going to join me in here, which means the boss is going to be scaled down to a manageable level for us and for our animus level right now. Even the tier 2 is a little bit too high level for us right now, so we are only able to do the tier 1. Every single tier is a part of that animus, so you're going to want to do every single animus eventually, which is a little bit unfortunate. You have to do this boss essentially 4 times, but it is at 4 different difficulties, so it's not too terrible. So this is actually the first time I'm doing this boss on the channel as well, so I'm going to get the badge and stuff here too, which is fantastic. I probably should not have had Lenora join the battle so soon. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to... I mean, 1,200 is not that much. I mean, I could honestly just Blizzard. We'll take out as many people as we can. I'll also imp with Lenora here. I'm using a second account here just because I need to get a level 1 in here. I don't know any level 1s in the game, so... Let's see if we can actually take everybody out round 1. Looks like we were unable to take out the boss. It's okay. The boss does have some cheats, too, you got to be concerned about, but... We should be fine. Maybe Lenora can take him out with the imp. Oof, tough. It's all right though. No worries. No worries, Lenora. Don't worry about it. Yeah, this is a pretty. The tier 1 is a pretty easy fight. All of the other tiers might be a little bit more challenging, but you will need to get all 5 of these creatures because all 4, because all 4 of them do have the animus, and luckily they all are undead as well, which is good. So if you're wondering, yes, the boss is scaled down to the lowest level wizard in your party. That's why you do need that low level wizard here, so that this guy is the tier 1, like the lowest tier that we can have here, and we can mark that as complete. So there we go. Spirit of Ignorance has been defeated, and we got all 4 of what we needed here: the Burned Out Soul, the Benighted Revenant Spirit of Ignorance, and the Feckless Soul. And we also get the badge, the Speller of Ignorance, which is fantastic. And Lenora also got it. Look at that. A level 1 has this badge. That's crazy. All right, and we have almost completed part 1 of Wizard City. The final thing we have to do is go into the Master Tower. Now, this is going to have our first level 9 enemy here in Monstrology. We are only rank 7, so it might be good to head over to Krakatopia and do some Krakatopian ones first, just to level up to at least level 8. But we might be able to get to level 8 while doing this dungeon, because we are facing some rank 6 enemies, which will give us some XP. Here is our first 2 enemies we need to defeat: a Bone Digger and another Maiden of Hate. But this one is a higher rank Maiden of Hate, which is not the same as the one in the Adept Tower. So yeah, unfortunately, you have to get both. Okay, Bone Digger and Maiden of Hate. We got 24 XP. So how much XP do we actually need to level up? I think we're good to level up during this. So we'll get to level 8 during this dungeon with the Soul Hunter and the Bone Digger here. So it's actually fantastic. No need to go to Krakatopia, guys. We'll wait for the next video to do that. But let's defeat the Soul Hunter and the Bone Digger here, and then we can move on in the Master Tower, which, you know, it's not that bad. If you are like my level or higher, it's obviously going to be easier. And even if you are slightly lower level than me, it's still going to be a breeze. I mean, if you're one-shotting these guys, then you had a pretty easy time this video. Now, what happened there? I did not critical against this guy. All right, this video this battle at least might go on a little bit longer. All right, there we go. We are now a Journeyman Monstrologist. We are rank 8, which should help us out when battling the last enemy here at the boss, so which is good. We do need that rank 8. But now we have another Maiden of Hate and another Soul Hunter. Unfortunately, this is a duplicate battle. All right, we finally made it up to the final battle, which does have 2 unique animuses here. We have the Pumpkinhead and the Skeletal Retainer, both of which we have not gotten quite yet. So let's go ahead and do this now. The Pumpkinhead does have a lot of health. 3,040. Is that the most we've seen this video? It might be the most we've seen this video. So this is not going to be a walk in the park, but for Fred Frost Fury, I think it will be. We did it, guys. We did it. Let's go. Pumpkinhead defeated. We got the last 2 animuses we need, and a nice little 24 XP. So if you are following along with your monster tome, these are the ones I still have on the Wizard City first page here. I, of course, did not get the Elephant Works. I don't have the Elephant class spell yet, unfortunately. It's also not the Telegraph Box season. And the Spell Red Screamer, of course, it's not the Spell Red season either. So can't get these 3 because these enemies do not exist currently. They are limited time editions. And I'll go back and get that one when we do get the Elephant class. If we look at Wizard City Part 2, little sneak peek, there are some things that you could easily do right now, such as Brisk Breeze Tower, which all of them are level 8 or below. So you can easily go and do Brisk Breeze Tower right now. And you honestly could probably even do the Crab Alley Gold Key room as well and get that Spirit of Ignorance tier 2. That is always possible. But look at how high level some of these things are, all the way up to level 20 with the Spirit of Ignorance tier 4. So that is going to be a potential tough one there. But, you know, you could get a head start on these. I will wait and do all of these once I kind of probably honestly get closer to level 20, I think, is when I'll start doing some of these. And, you know, Crocotopia, very easy. We start getting back into the rank 2s, and there are some difficult ones near the end here. Again, a lot of these are going to be Skeleton Key bosses or, you know, Selenopolis stuff, I think. So, yeah, a lot of it is some high level, but there is a lot of normal stuff here as well. Marleybone, again, has a couple of tough ones at the end, but most of it is very doable right now. Mushu, again, the same thing. I'm trying to see if there's any that we can completely do right now. It's looking like that's not possible. It's looking like all of them have some sort of difficult one here or there. I think it's a little bit unfortunate. So yeah, we will have to level up a little bit. We'll have to grind. Can't tell you when the next Monstrology episode is going to be, but if we do click on the T, it looks like we do have 3 out of 13 in Aquila. There, of course, are other dungeons like Atlantia and Tartarus we'll have to do. Dragonspire, we got the Loathsome Creeper, and we got 72 today. We got 72 Animuses in Wizard City. So this was a fun little day. It took, I was here for probably about 3 hours. I don't know how long you guys were here. It depends on what kind of spells you're using, I suppose. Yeah, guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope this helped you out in collecting some of the Animuses. We have eight full pages. Let's go. And we got all the Veggie Revenants first try, which was absolutely incredible. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. I really would appreciate it. And looking forward to seeing you in the Crocotopia edition. I'll see you there.